So 20 years ago, a company named Toybiz started to produce some 6-inch super articulated Marvel comic book characters known as Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends is an action figure line based on the characters of Marvel Comics, initially produced by Toybiz, then by Hasbro as we know it now. Toybiz started the Marvel Legends line initially with the Spider-Man Classics line. It wasn't until 2002 that we got our Series 1 of official Marvel Legends. And within Series 1 was Iron Man. And that's what we're looking at here today. This is the 20th anniversary Marvel Legends Iron Man figure by Hasbro. So they are paying tribute, commemorating 20 years of Marvel Legends with the ones that started them all. This is very cool, very dope. I really like this. So can we consider Toy Biz Legends as retro vintage at this point? I don't know, it seems like it's a little early for that, but it is the older Marvel Legends. It's definitely not as old as, the white carded vintage Legends and the purple carded retro Spidey Legends. But I must say this is my favorite of all of those, quote unquote retro carded figures or re-releases that Hasbro has been doing these past couple of years. And if you guys can do me a favor and hit that like button down below and show some love so we can get this video out there, and consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. In fact, here is the actual Toy Biz Marvel Legends Series 1 Iron Man in the box. At least one of the variants. They did produce many variants for this Series 1 Iron Man, at least 3 or 4 that I can think of off the top of my head, with some variant comic books as well. I think one was like a gold framed version, one was red. I, of course, still have one in the package, and you can see what they were trying to replicate here. It's not a one-to-one replication of the Toy Biz version, but it is the best that they could do, and I really appreciate it. This is all we really need. It would have been extra dope to get a clamshell, but I understand why we did not. And here's one more shot side by side. I know I'm spending quite a bit of time on the package, but this is something that's quite important with this release. So here's the backside. They did not recreate the back card to look like the original one with the rest of the wave. But they do have the picture of this figure here with this backdrop, and there's a read-up that reads, "For 20 years, the Marvel Legends series has brought the iconic characters and storylines of the Marvel Universe to fans worldwide. To celebrate the 2002 Toy Biz debut release, Marvel Legends proudly presents the 20th Anniversary Series 1 featuring Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Toad." So I'm definitely super excited for this release of 20th anniversary. I even mentioned it in my interview with the Hasbro Marvel Legends team, and I really hope and cross my fingers they continue to release more. I know it's impossible to release all of them all over again, but it's still pretty cool to keep it going. They've been keeping the retro vintage line, the white carded line, going for quite a bit, and the Spider-Man line for quite a bit too. And it's a good avenue to release some unreleased Marvel Legends or to update some figures that need some updating. So Toy Biz 20th Anniversary Iron Man comes with a card reproduction of the cover of the comic book that came in the original release of the figure. You can see it can be used as a backdrop with the base stand that this figure comes with. All of these figures come with a base that say Marvel Legends on it, which is a nice touch because these are kind of meant to be like museum pieces. Like, you're supposed to display them as a museum piece vanilla pose. Obviously, you can use it as you wish and have it in dynamic poses, but I'm definitely going to lean towards this type of display for all of these releases just because it commemorates the first series ever of Marvel Legends. And this just screams nostalgia. It hits hard at all of my nerdy feels, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of the base and backdrop in the display. So we'll take a look at that now. We'll move Iron Man out to the side, and you can see the comic book cover. Now this thing is kind of loosely packaged in, at least mine was. It was kind of dinging around, so unfortunately one of the corners, at least two of the corners, are kind of dented in and creased a little bit, and the entire card is kind of bent. This could easily be flattened out once I put some like heavy books on it for like a week or two, but kind of bugs me that the corners are kind of dinged up a little bit. It's not the worst thing ever. I'm sure I'd probably go buy another one either way to support this line. But all in all, this is a very cool looking card. Unfortunately, yes, it is a card. It's not a mini comic book. That would have been extra dope. But you can see here all the Iron Mans, and on the back side, we get a picture, a picture of what came with the original release as a physical accessory, the Stark sign that everybody has tons of. Actually, let me go find that thing. So here it is, as dusty as can be, the original Stark sign accessory from all the way back in 2002. So anyway, there is the image of that accessory backdrop. So if you wish to display it this way instead, you can choose to go this way. I think I'm probably going to lean towards the comic book image instead of this one though. Here's a look at that Marvel Legends base, which is just all black, but you can see the names embossed there, or raised up Marvel Legends, and then there's the backside there. So that's cool to have. I like that. And then we did get some accessories, some add-ons that were not part of the original release. Now Hasbro didn't want to just go and do 100% copy of the original release. They wanted to re-release it with a twist of Hasbro, so they added on some effects that never existed with the original release. We have some black effects here. I think these are meant to be like smoke effects from him boosting up. And then we also do get alternate hands because, of course, we don't have articulated fingers anymore. So we get alternate hands, which I do prefer. So we get alternate set of fists. The figure comes with open hands, if you guys missed that. And then we also do get effects for the bottom of the either boots or the hands. So we're little repulsor effects, which are new as well. And then we get an alternate head swap. So as much as I would have loved a faceplate swap to kind of replicate it exactly as the original, this is dope too because this is a brand new Tony Stark head sculpt and it might be the best one yet. I don't know, I got to compare it next to the 80th anniversary version because that one holds, the crown as of right now, but this one looks like it's coming straight from the comic book pages with that kind of cell shading ish paint job on the hair. I like that blue and black hair paint. And then as for the paint apps on the eyes and mouth, it's pretty clean overall, looking really good. So here is the helmet up close. You can see they went with the horned look, and this is something that they did kind of for their own twist, I think, because the original one did not come with the horns. Only the variant did, and it didn't have the mouthpiece looking like that either. So they changed it up a bit there. I do wish they gave us alternate heads there to give us that original release look of the helmet, but then again, we have that for the what wave was that? The Shang-Chi wave, Mr. Hyde. So if you wanted to, you could probably add that onto this figure. The eyes are all blacked out, so is the mouth. Then we got the yellow arc reactor. So that's nice. A lot of people were painting that Mr. Hyde release yellow to try to get that classic look, since that one was blue. And this is actually flattened out too, so it's not that, bulging repulsor or arc reactor, I should say. These are also yellow. And aside from that, everything else is red and yellow. As you see, they did panel line the line scopes on his armor, so that's very nice. I like that. Very dope. Something that they don't really do much, so pretty dope to see that. That's all the way down to the boots, his groin, his butt, his back of the head, all painted, panel lined out. So there's your up close look. There's a look at him with the helmet one more time so we can take a look at him without it. And there he is, and that looks very good. Wonderful head sculpt. Gosh, that is nice. Really, really good. No complaints at all. I'll take a new Tony Stark head sculpt any day. So this is looking nice. Man, tell me that doesn't look good. Check that out. I know this figure probably isn't all that for most people, but for me it is. Iron Man is my favorite superhero, and this figure is of some significance for me, like I mentioned before. It was the very first Iron Man figure Marvel Legend I ever owned, and I still have till today. Man, that figure has been through hell and back. It's actually broken in like multiple pieces, but I still own it. I refuse to get rid of it or throw it away just because of the memories and the nostalgia. It's fallen off the shelf like 4 times over the years. And here he is. This is my original Iron Man figure. He's got a broken leg, broken arm, and broken neck. And I glued him a while back ago, so I can't articulate the leg that is glued, of course. I just went very amateur with it and just crazy glued it. So it's not anything professional, but he stands vanilla pose, and that's all I need him to do for now. The arm as well, and the neck. Luckily, the neck and the head are separate, so the head can still articulate just fine. So yeah, this is it. This right here could be responsible for what you're seeing today, for me reviewing toys, for me collecting figures. This very figure could be the reason why I'm in the game right now, and I still love all of it, you know. So here he is. This is classic yellow and red. So this one came with a removable faceplate, of course, as we all know. There's the difference there side by side. Not gonna lie to you guys, I do like the new one more, of course. The new head sculpt is phenomenal. It's unlike anything we've gotten from Toybiz. There's no comparison there. But that is to be expected after 20 years of Marvel Legends, don't you think? So pretty nice to see where we started to where we are now. Now, I did go ahead and buy another Series 1 Iron Man because of the fact that this one is broken. I want to be able to have one that I can move around, of course, and play with. So I did buy another one, and here is the other one. And you can see this one's actually painted slightly different. Like I mentioned earlier, Toybiz did a lot of variants, especially with this Iron Man. And variants when it came to just the yellow and the red. Like this one has like a metallicness to it, and it's very different tone in red and yellow. So it's all up to preference, but I will always love the classic yellow and red version. And here we have two more variants from that very Series 1 Iron Man from Toy Biz. We have the horned helmet version. So that was with a very dark gold and red. Then we have the stealth Iron Man on the left side there. Now, this is me being selfish and asking for too much, as I normally do with Marvel Legends, but how cool would it have been to get this 20th anniversary Iron Man released with variants too? I mean, commemorate it all the way, right? Give us that stealth look, give us the horned gold look, and of course, our basic classic yellow and red. That just would have been it. But again, that's just my inner Iron Man obsession speaking out. We have the Mr. Hyde classic Iron Man figure with the 80th anniversary head swapped unmasked Tony Stark head on it. And this was my favorite Tony Stark head. It's still phenomenal, it's still beautiful, but man, I love the new one. Hasbro, keep it coming, man. This is great. This is not an exact resculpt or repaint of this figure as I thought. Now that I have them side by side, it's different. The entire torso is different. A round of applause. I give you guys props. Thank you, Hasbro, for changing that up a bit. I know that was, quite the decision to make because it could have been very easy just to give us the same exact torso and no one really would have noticed, I guess. That being said, though, that original Iron Man release from Series Toybiz actually had these little round things on the side, and now the new one does not, which is the one that's supposed to, commemorate that release. But nonetheless, I'm okay with it because we have that figure already. It's right here. So why do we need it again? But you guys let me know down below which head sculpt do you like better. I'm going with the new head sculpt. It is amazing. That is classic Tony Stark 100%. But then again, you can still use this alternate head as a different artist. You know, we had multiple artists. We've seen Tony Stark look different based on the artist that drew him. So now you have a little bit of both. And then here we have them both with the helmet on. And where we have that gold and red color scheme. I still think that is one of my favorites, but I will always love that classic flat yellow and red. I'm just an all-around Iron Man fan, so I'll take anything. Alright, so head swaps. Here's the Alex Ross head on this body. Here we have the regular head sculpt from the Mr. Hyde Iron Man on this body. Not a bad look, not too bad. Now the yellows don't match. You can probably pull it off at some angles and it's not so noticeable, but it definitely doesn't match. I'm looking at it in person, it just looks like a highlight yellow. So this is a Tony Stark figure I've had for a minute. This is the Agent Coulson body with the Tony Stark head that came with the 2-pack. What 2-pack was it? I can't even remember what figure it came with. It was the earlier Hasbro 2-packs, earlier Hasbro Marvel Legends. I'll throw a picture up on screen if I find it. But yeah, this head is always small, but it is all I had. So I figured I'd try out the new head on this body. So this head's a little too small, and the new head is too big. So I just can't find the perfect one for this body. Now this is the body from the movie version of J. Jonah Jameson from No Way Home. The head still looks big on the body. It looks a little better than the previous Agent Coulson body I just showed, so we're moving towards the right direction, but it's a damn shame this doesn't fit perfectly either, at least in terms of scale. And up next we have the Obadiah Stane body, and this doesn't work either. He's got no neck now. Next we have the Jon Favreau Happy Hogan body, which is a thicker, more heavier set body. And it wouldn't have looked good either way because he's a little bit too heavy set for Tony Stark. But also the head doesn't snap in all the way. I'm sure I could get it to snap in if I force it, but I'm not going to force it and break my figure. So yeah. This one here is the actual Tony Stark, the MCU Tony Stark suited body figure from the 2-pack that came with Mark 1, part of the 10th anniversary of MCU. Alright, and I'll try one more body mold, and this is the Wolverine from the Hugh Jackman 2-pack. It came with Professor X, and this might be the move. It's definitely the best one of them all. It's because it's an overall bigger figure than those other suited bodies, so it fits a little better since this head sculpt's pretty big. The only thing here that doesn't match is the skin tone, unfortunately, so the skin tone is not there at all. Also, Hugh Jackman has a lot of hair, so they put a lot of hair on the bottom of his on his neck there, so he's got some neck beard going on, but his head sculpt kind of covers that up. And if you can get somebody to, match the skin tones, you might have a winner here for a suited Tony Stark. This might be the move for sure. But moral of the story, we need a suited body comic book Tony Stark. Alright guys, and that will conclude my review of the Hasbro Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Iron Man figure. This was definitely the one I was most anticipating strictly because it was Iron Man, but I'm also very excited for Captain America, Toad, and the Hulk. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys sticking around. Leave a like down below and show some love. Let me know your thoughts on this figure in the comments section below, and consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. Hope you guys have a good one. Till next time, I'll catch you on the next one.